Alright, so this video we're going to be talking about parabolas in the conic sections and dealing with different concepts called a focus and a directrix. So in a parabola, you can clearly see this is a parabola. I would need you to understand any point on a parabola, the distance from that point to the directrix will be the same distance as from that point to the focus. So this distance from this focus to that point will be the same distance as from this point to the directrix. And last but not least, the distance from this point to that point on the parabola will be the same distance as from here going down. So you guys can kind of read through that if you want to, but that's going to be the concept that we're going to be dealing with. All right. So understand that this distance right here will be equal to this distance right here. We're going to use those properties when we're solving for making our equation for our parabola. All right. So let's go over here to our problem. It says we have a parabola with a focus at -4, 8, and a directrix at x equals -6. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Desmos, and we're going to kind of plot some things here so you can see what they look like. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take some things from our equation, which is our directrix is at x equals -6. So I'm going to type in x equals -6 so you can see what it looks like. There's our x equals -6. Now I'm going to put a focus right here at -4 and an 8. -4 and an 8. So I'm going to put parentheses, -4 and an 8. All right? So right there, that's where our focus is. Now, I want you to understand our vertex is going to go right here. That's where our vertex will be for our parabola. So if the directrix is at x equals -6 and our focus is at a -4 and an 8, I already know my vertex right here will be at a -2 and an 8 because the distance between the focus and this directrix, these distances are the same. So I'm going to use that information, and you'll see when I type in my equation, it's going to go straight through this vertex, which is a -2 and an 8. So how do we set this up? Ready? Our directrix is at x minus 6. So what I'd like you to do is I want you to understand we're going to use the distance formula. So we're going to take the square root of the change of x, so put x plus 6 squared equals the square root of, this is your x value, this is your y value of the focus. So we're going to put x plus 4 squared plus y minus 8 squared. Okay, so when you're using this, it's always going to be the opposite number that you're going to be using. You're making it equal to 0 in the parentheses. Our first step when we're doing this is we need to square both sides. When you square both sides, here's what you're left with. X plus 6 squared equals x plus 4 squared plus y minus 8 squared. So we have to expand this. So to expand it's very easy. It's just x squared plus 12x plus 36. We're going to go and expand this. X squared plus 8x plus 16. But we're going to leave this y minus 8 squared by itself. Because right now we're not solving for y, we're actually solving for x. So what cancels out on each side? This x squared cancels out this x squared if you subtracted x squared from both sides. Okay? All I'm going to do right here is I'm going to take away an 8x, take away an 8x, and that leaves me 4x. I'm going to take away a 36, take away a 36, and that leaves me with -20. So I have y minus 8 squared minus 20, and then I just divide everything by 4, and I'm done. So I got x equals y minus 8 squared over 4 minus a 5. And I'm going to type this into Desmos and see if it goes through that point that I was hoping it was going to go through. If it doesn't, then I did something wrong, and I'll go back and I'll fix whatever I did wrong. So y minus 8 squared over 4 minus 5. There we go. All right, let me go back and take a look at it. All right, so put x equals. Regular Desmos allows you to do x equals, which is really nice. Oops, sorry. Y minus 8, so put division sign, parentheses, y minus 8, close parentheses, squared, over 4. Ooh, look at there. I'm getting closer. All right. And then I said what? Minus 5. So I'm going to put minus 5. Hey, what did I say was going to hit? I said it was going to hit right there at negative 5, negative 8, between the negative 6 and the negative 4. I may have messed up when I told you where it was going to go through. Oh, after the negative 2. My apologies. That was supposed to be a negative 5. This is negative 6. That's negative 4. Yeah, negative 5 is between a negative 6 and a negative 4. But you know what? That's okay. That's why we go back and check all our work. So now I feel pretty good and feel pretty confident that this is the parabola that I'm looking for. All right, let's type it in. So right here, got to go over here, got to make a little fraction bar, got to make a parentheses. Y minus 8. I got to make that squared. All right, let me go back and see where I put. Yeah, you're gonna. A student asked me, are you always gonna flip the sign? Yeah, when you're putting in the distance formula, it's the change in, so you're always gonna make it whatever it is the opposite. Okay, over 4 minus 5. Okay, over 4 minus 5. Yeah, that's a good way to check yourself. Just type it in Desmos to see if everything works out. All right, feel pretty good now. All right, so a great way of checking it is just, and I'm going to use Desmos just to check all my work before I type it in, because I don't know about you, I don't really like getting things wrong. All right. All right, so now we have a y equals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in my focus into Desmos. Here's my focus. There's my x. There's my y. There's my directrix. So 6, negative 4, and y equals negative 7. All right, 6, negative 4. All right, 6, negative 4. Okay, and then it's not x equals, it's y equals 7. So I put y equals, I think it's 7. So I'll make sure. Oh, negative 7. My apologies. Negative 7. Okay. So, oh, guess what? Just by doing this, guys, you can actually figure out where your vertex is going to be. So if you're right here at 6, negative 4, and your directrix is right there at a negative 7, what's perfectly between a negative 4 and a negative 7? Like negative, what, 11 over 2? Negative, yeah, just together, negative 11 over 2. So it's going to be right in here. So negative 5.5. That's where we're going to end up getting. Okay? So you're going to see when I plot it that parabola is going to go right perfectly halfway between those 2 points. All right? So I'm just going to do the work right here. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to do y plus 7 squared. Ah, come on, board. There we go. Underneath the square root equals parentheses x minus 6 squared plus y plus 4 squared. And that's all underneath the radical. And how do we get rid of those? We square both sides. So you have y plus 7 squared equals x minus 6 squared plus y plus 4 squared. Now what are we going to expand? We're going to expand this, which becomes y squared plus 14y plus 49 equals, we're just going to keep this in parentheses, okay? Keep that in parentheses. We're going to expand this. It becomes y squared plus 8y plus 16. So what happens to my y squareds? They cancel out. Take away an 8y. Take away an 8y, which leaves me with 6y. Take away a 49. Take away a 49. Leaves me with negative 33. So what do I have left? Here we go. 6y equals x minus 6 squared minus 33. I got to divide everything by a 6. You get y equals parentheses x minus 6 squared over 6 minus 33 over 6. Now, you know what negative 33 over 6 actually equals? Negative 5.5. By the way, the next problem I'm going to do, I'm not going to do any work. You're like, what do you mean you're not going to do any work? I'll just show you how you can do it without not doing any really difficult math. By the way, what is our vertex going to be at? Our vertex is going to be at a 6, comma, negative 5.5. That's where our vertex is going to be. Watch when I type it in. 6, comma, negative 5.5. Here we go. Y equals division bar, open parentheses, x minus 6 squared over 6 minus 33 divided by 6. Where did I say the vertex was going to be? At a 6 and a negative 5.5. So I feel pretty good about me typing in that answer into the Khan Academy. All right. X minus 6, close parentheses, squared over 6 minus 33 divided by 6. Now I'm going to try to look for a pattern. Maybe we can just do the next one with a pattern without like. So this one was divided by a 6. Let's see what the last one was. Then we had the last one. What was our final answer for the last one? Interesting. Divided by a 4. Okay. The previous one over here, that was divided by an 8. All right. Looks like I have to do a little bit of math, oh well. But we'll go on to the next problem and see what we got. Last problem. It says x equals. All right. So I know I'm going to have an x equals parentheses something squared over a number, and I'm going to find my vertex just by plotting this stuff. I'm going to figure out what goes in here, and at the end, I just got to figure out what number goes in the bottom. Okay, so we have a focus at 6 and a 7, and the directrix is at x equals 1. So we're going to figure out our vertex just by plotting them and looking at it visually. 6, 7, x equals 1. All right, 6, 7, x equals 1. 6, 7, not x. And not y equals, put x equals 1. Okay. Well, I know where my vertex is going to be. If this is at x equals 1, and this right here is at a 6 and a 7, what's perfectly between a 1 and a 6? Like 3 and a half, right? 1 1 plus 6 divided by 2 is 7 over 2. So if this is 1, this is 2, this is 3.5, it'll be right about there. So my vertex, I'm just going to let you guys know, my vertex is going to be at 7 over 2, comma 7. 7 over 2, comma 7. That's where my vertex will have to be. So what does that mean for my little, I'm going to put y minus 7, and then this will be minus 7 over 2. So I just wonder if this denominator right here will be a 2. We'll find out. Here we go. Here's how you do it by hand. All right, here we go. We're going to start with x. Put x minus 1 squared. I'm doing a little shortcut here. I'm not going to do the square roots and square both sides. I'm just going to write it what it's going to eventually be, equals y minus 7 squared plus x minus 6 squared. This becomes x squared minus 2x plus 1. We're going to keep this guy the exact same. This becomes x squared minus 12x plus 36. Okay. What am I going to do? I am going to cancel out my x squareds. Okay. And I'm going to have to add a 14x to this side. I'm going to have to add a 14x to this side, which leaves me 12x's. I'm going to have to take away a 1 from this side, take away a 1 from that side. So y minus 7 squared. Oh, I'm at 12. Yeah, I messed up. I'm sorry. Sorry, I messed up there. My bad. I was like, wait a second. So I gotta add 12. There we go. Add 12. Add 12. I don't have no idea where the 14 came from. So we have 10x minus a 1 minus a 1. That gives me 35. So, okay, so a 10 is going to go there, because that's where the 10 is going to go, because eventually I got to divide everything by a 10, and that reduces to 7 over 2. So we have a plus 35, divide everything by 10, but it should be a minus. I guess I messed up. We'll find out. Divide everything by 10. So we have x equals y minus 7 squared over 10 plus 7 over 2. So I'm going to type this in and see if that works. So we have x equals, put the division bar, parentheses y minus 7 squared over 10, and put plus 3.5. Oh, okay. So here's where I messed up. That's supposed to be a plus 3.5, which is right there. Okay. So there's the plus 3.5. It's not minus 3.5. All right. Well, if I didn't check everything in Desmos, I would have gotten it. Would have gotten it wrong if I tried to do a shortcut. That was supposed to be a plus 7 over 2, but that's going to be the 10. So that's what I'm going to type in here, and I'll be done. All the process here I did is correct. I just thought if I could see if I could find a shortcut, because shortcuts are fun. But I guess I got to do the work. All right. So go over here, type in x equals, do the division, parentheses y minus 7, close parentheses, squared over 10 minus, oh, not minus, plus. I'm just gonna do 7 over 2 instead of 3.5. I'm just gonna put 7 over 2. All right, that's it. Okay. All right. See if they pretty much did the exact same things we did. Just to note that the distance from the focus to any point is the same distance as from here to the directrix, and that's why it's a parabola. Have a good day.